Hello and welcome back to Just Another Football Podcast. You're here with me and Ali. We've got a lot to talk about this week. FA Cup final. One didn't go so well. The other one did for me. Premier League final day on our predictions. The top four race, relegation. And then we've got all the European stuff. Women's Champions League final, Europa League. It's jam-packed. And the playoffs. I nearly forgot about the playoffs. Championship playoffs and all the other playoffs.
Yeah.
We've got a lot to get into here, Ali. You ready?
Other than COVID, yes.
Well, let's get into it then. Simmy Acosta Malik, cause he's got a quick pass, but we all know that he's scared.
Hey!
Yes. Even though Chelsea lost his great chant, I can't deny that, and he scored the winning penalty for Liverpool against Chelsea. Disappointing one for myself, considering it was probably one of my two favourite players in the team at the moment that missed the two penalties for Chelsea, and Azpilicueta and Mount. But I can't deny Liverpool were the better team and did deserve it in the end, I thought. How did you find the game, Ali?
I found like that both teams are a bit leggy. I felt a lot more so than the Carabao Cup final. It was a lot more. It was either just tiredness, and we saw that today. We were just after Liverpool winning at Southampton in a very difficult way because we rested 9 players. And it felt like there was a reason for that because just both teams looked very tired. And we'll see Chelsea tomorrow have a game, don't you? We'll see how many players they get rested. They'll get another day's rest, but it is.
Klopp was giving off about that, and I thought it was a bit ridiculous because it's pretty standard.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I don't know why we have a different day to you. In fairness, but as to what game we're playing and when we're playing, I think Thursday's just as bad as Tuesday in some ways. Like Wednesday would have been perfect for both. I just don't really. It's a pretty standard scheduling fixture, like a Saturday Tuesday thing. I thought he's bad for it. He goes over the top on these things. I think at times.
I kind of agree, but I feel like he's very particular on the importance of recovery and things like that, isn't he? But it is one of the unfortunate things about success, I guess, is that you have a lot more games to play towards the end of the season because you're getting into later stages of games, and every game becomes more intense than the next. Every game's a final. No margin for error. So I kind of get it, but I feel like, yeah, you're right that he might be over the top with it. But no, both teams were a bit leggy. I was surprised by kind of the front line's inability to really, apart from the Luis Diaz chance at the start, the front line really couldn't, I don't know, communicate very well, get first touches right, stuff like this.
Just didn't link up quite as well to get the clinical chance,
Yeah. That was the main problem for us, I think, is that we didn't really link up very well up front. As for you, I felt that there was a similar issue because Lukaku didn't have a great game again. And
Havertz got injured the day before, and then Werner pulled up in the warm up or something like that. Really bad luck on our behalf there. I thought like the front three of Mount, Pulisic, and Lukaku. I thought two of them played well.
Yeah.
And Pulisic and Mount. But yeah, it seems to be like. Saw even my mate who was watching it, who's a United fan, saying Mount had a poor game. I didn't really get that. I thought like I've since watched the compilation of all of his touches. He had a really solid game, and like it's just my mate said that even before the penalty shootout. He set up a good chance for Pulisic, and that could be 1-0 up with an assist. Pulisic, I thought it's sort of typical of his moments at the moment, or his games at the moment, is that he's good. He's just frustrating. Like there's a load of wingers, a load of those. We have loads of these type of wingers at the moment, or three or four of them. Are just frustrating to watch. They'll have do one good thing, one bad thing, one good thing, one bad thing. But I thought it was a decent performance from Pulisic, and then Lukaku, yeah, he just never got into it, and one chance he had, he blazed over. It was a difficult chance, but that's the type of chance that you expect him in a cup final. You're a big striker to have a go at and at least get on target or draw a brilliant save from the keeper. Um, you feel like he's gonna constantly get compared to Drogba because he's the number nine for. Right, but Drogba wasn't number nine, but he the striker for Chelsea, a big physical presence like Drogba, and what we could have done with Drogba in that game, for turning up at Wembley. But yeah, I can't be too annoyed overall. I thought we played all right. We could have won it, but I don't think we necessarily deserved to win it.
Do you know?
Anyway,
Do you remember the marginal offside between quotes that Lukaku got in the Carabao Cup final when he was flagged offside? Made that run behind the second half of extra time, I think. That's like the textbook Lukaku goal. But what I felt like we did successfully was just not allow that to happen. I think we played a bit deeper than we normally do. And Lukaku had to therefore play with it. I don't know if he had to, but he certainly couldn't play off the shoulder and get into like a race with Van Dijk or Konate because we just didn't allow this to happen. So I wonder if that limited him and made him play with his back to goal and therefore just not get involved as much because he would get the first touch wrong every time and lose possession so much.
Yeah, definitely. I think it definitely limited, but it could just be Lukaku not playing well at the same time.
Yeah, it could be as simple as that.
Yeah. And then I saw an interesting thread. I don't know if you saw it, Ali, about the differences in Klopp's and Tuchel's approaches to the penalty shootouts.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I saw that.
Really interesting thread. Good luck finding it now, actually. But it was basically talking about how Klopp had all of his decisions made, and before talking to anybody, he went up into each of the first five penalty takers, gave them a pat on the back, wished them all the best, and he has faith in them, whatever. But you can imagine what Klopp would be saying, and are you up for it, and are you happy taking the penalty? Contrasting to Tuchel was still writing down his five in a group huddle, and then asking the players within the group, are they happy taking it? And the point was made, there's group pressure then to say yes, even though you might not necessarily be okay with that. It also gives a more aura of just being unorganised. And I think when it comes down to penalty shootout, it's all about calmness, confidence. Because we've talked about it before, but every one of them can put that ball into the top corner. They're all great professional footballers. They'd all have the ability to do that if the pressure was off.
Yep.
So it just comes down to in that moment how calm you are, and I think all those marginal gains in those moments we feed into it. Now, I wouldn't blame Tuchel for it because I would just praise Klopp for being just really, really organised and everything. But how many times do you see managers write it down in the middle of the centre circle and then go on and win? So I don't think it's that crucial, but I think it definitely must. I can imagine it helping, just having just being organised, quick and efficient, quick chat about it, good team talk, and then you're ready to go. Not dwelling on anything too much and just focusing then on the task in hand. It just seems a bit more chaotic. which can't happen in that scenario. Yeah,
There's
that
a
was one thing. And then the women's FA Cup final, great
yeah,
win for Chelsea. You
good
know,
win.
it went to extra time, and I just saw I saw the extra time of it, and my namesake got the all important winning goal. Big up Sam Kerr doing the
Big
Kerr's
up
proud.
Selker.
And Chelsea women's team are just so dominant, and Emma Hayes is just brilliant. And it seemed to, I don't know what the attendance was, but it was pretty packed at Wembley Stadium from
I
what I
think it
could
was something
see.
like 53,000.
Yeah, pretty full, which is brilliant to see, and it was a good game. From what I saw, but a very even match, and Chelsea go over the line in the end. If only the men could take a few lessons from the Chelsea women's team, we'd
Yeah,
be
maybe
doing a
so.
lot better. Um,
DC
but
Sam Kerr's like swivel and volley in the league deciding game against Man United.
yeah,
That
oh,
was
unbelievable goal,
incredible. Yeah,
oh,
one of the goals of the season anyway.
unbelievable. Yeah, no, I definitely can't do that. So.
Nobody can.
That's,
I think there are very few
that's where
people
the
that are there.
similarities begin and end. I same name, but
I
the
saw this technique twice before, anywhere.
yeah, it got compared to
There's
another goal. And I can't think what it was. Oh, Drogba's goal versus Everton. That's what it was
Drogba's
getting
goal versus
compared.
Everton, but Sam Kerr's one was from further behind.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah,
and then like Drogba's was from a much more of a goal scoring position. Like you can imagine it happening, but Sam Kerr from that position, like this is
it was just
it's
so
just
quick
insane. It's
to
45 yards
just
up.
do. Yeah.
Um, I saw it. Ivan Toney once this season tried it, slightly more on the left. Ended up missing by a little bit of a distance, but it was a good effort. And Didier Drogba against Barcelona in the Champions League final return leg, 2012, tried something similar, but from way down the right hand side. And like Victor Valdez ended up catching it, reading it. But that was brave and so perfect. Like it couldn't be
Unbelievable.
more accurate.
Like
Yeah,
she seems proper clinical and just able to step up in those moments. The men's team was craving it out for someone like her to in the male form. Maybe,
yeah.
maybe that could be me. The other kid.
This could be
Sign
you.
me up. uh, so yeah, but that's the FA Cup. The both FA Cups. I think both were really good games. Even
Yeah.
though the men's one was 0-0, I thought it was a good game, and um, yeah, I just feel bad for Mason Mount, and especially like six finals all at Wembley. He's never won there in a final. And
You win some, you lose some. Although that doesn't apply on Mason Mount.
yeah, it's just you lose some
Sorry,
and you lose some at the moment.
you
But
lose
it
some,
is
you lose
worrying
some.
that like the spine for Chelsea doesn't have that get over the line winning attitude that all the great teams did have for us.
Hmm.
And Liverpool clearly have. Liverpool, you just have a faith they're going to get over the line no matter what. Which we'll come on to now in the next bit when we talk about the
Yeah.
Premier League results and Liverpool getting over the line again.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Southampton 1, Liverpool 2. Liverpool came back
Yes.
from 1-0 down, which was due to a dodgy goal, a bit of a
Dodgy's an
deflection, nice
understatement.
hit. But Ali, you were tweeting about this. I can't get over it. It wasn't pulled back either. I
I
don't know what's more clear and obvious.
I don't
It
know.
was such a clear foul.
I don't know. Steven
Um,
Gerrard wrote about
and in
Martin
the end, it was
Atkinson.
probably fair that he's won.
Yeah, it's very fair. Steven Gerrard wrote about Martin Atkinson. His 2015 book, I think. And Martin Atkinson, I think, he's been holding a grudge against us for some time. I don't know. He comes off as incompetent. That's all I've got to say. Like that's all I have. I don't know what else to say. He comes off as incompetent.
Yeah.
But that's the first
Um,
goal.
it's
I
it's
guess.
it's his last season in the Premier League. I'm pretty sure as well as Mike Dean's.
Are you serious?
Yeah, as far that's what people were tweeting about. I think it's
Oh,
the last one.
let's go. Let's go. Really? I would be so happy.
Ali for the listener, he's a wee bit down with COVID and he's a wee bit slumped over there. And as soon as I mentioned that,
So I
he's
fist
now
it
got a
up.
big smile on his face. Chest is out. He's leaning into the mic. He's
No,
it's
I'm
giving
just
him a
leaning
boost.
over
That
to fact check this. Referees Martin Atkinson, John Moss. Oh my gosh! According to retired at the end of the season, April 28th. I either never knew or
there you
just
go.
forgot. I knew John Moss would retire, so that's John Moss, Martin Atkinson, and Mike Dean. But Mike Dean is still going to be
I'm
at
good
VAR
about
stuff.
Dean. I know what it is about Dean. He's just funny to me. I do like him. I know I don't think he's a good ref, but there is something about just how like uh, how funny how he goes about it is has a comedic value to
Yeah,
it that I just love to watch.
yeah.
For all the wrong reasons in terms of what he's actually meant to be doing. But yeah, Liverpool get over the line frustratingly for me. Quadruple
Frustratingly
is
for
still
you.
on.
Why not? Why?
Do I need to explain that?
I mean, would you
I was saying to my
rather?
mate, I actually prefer Liverpool to have won the Premier League, but because you could win the quadruple, I want you to lose the Premier League now. But
Okay.
if it was down to
Gotcha.
you or Man City, I'm now at the stage where I'd actually prefer Liverpool to win it. Especially now that you have won it after what was it, 30 years, whatever.
Hmm.
Now you've got that monkey off your back. It doesn't really matter as much.
We haven't won it in
Yeah,
front of fans. That's the problem.
yeah. But because you are on for the quadruple, I do not want these. I
I
it's
get it.
just
I get it.
that can't happen.
Yeah.
Um,
Don't worry though. I don't think. I don't think we'll win the. It's like the FA Cup was, and this is gonna sound pessimistic, and my energy is low. I do have COVID, so I do sound a bit like low energy and might come off as sad. But this is like, it's 100% my opinion from the start. The FA Cup and Carabao Cup are about as much as we're gonna win this season, to be honest. Since the draw against Tottenham, I've kind of maintained that City will probably win the league, and I've said that that Real Madrid would win the Champions League since they knocked out PSG in the round of 16. So I would.
I think
not
you're
be-
gonna at the current standing. I think with a week's rest after the Premier League, I think you're gonna blitz Real Madrid,
I bloody hope
which is
so.
why I'm really worried. I think it'll be over in the first half now. I think the same as the Man City game, except Liverpool take their chances.
I bloody hope so. I really do.
That's providing that everybody's back fit or like you have your strong team. I think it will that really does matter. But I tell you what, Minamino scored a great goal.
Oh yeah.
And you got over the line with a very strong second string team. So we'll leave that there. Don't really want to big up Liverpool any more than I already have. Got beaten enough ways this week. We'll come to a lighter note for us two.
Go on.
Newcastle 2, Arsenal 0. Harry, for anybody wondering where Harry is, Harry, I'm guessing was drowning his sorrows last night, and it was badly hungover today. So he wasn't fit to come on the podcast.
That's so fitting.
Yeah, it's so fitting. He's exactly like Arsenal. It got sick and decided not to turn up for the big occasion. Maybe postpone it to a time that suits him better. But yeah, it was. I watched it with my Arsenal housemate. It was, they just never had it. Newcastle were just so dominant in fairness to Newcastle. The physical presence was just unbelievable. Like seemed to win every tackle, every second ball. Like the basics of football was there. And then they had a bit of quality on top of that. Joe Linton was, and Bruno Guimaraes were just brilliant. And like there's something happening there in Newcastle. It's annoying that like they just seem to be making smart moves now. Now they've got the money to back those smart moves, and they're on a good trajectory. It's annoying that it looks like it might just work out very quickly and very easily for them if they carry on with this sort of recruitment and smart, sensible decisions.
It's about as annoying as their Saudi Arabia replica of an away kit. Do you see it?
Yeah, yeah. It's ballsy. I don't know, like
Yeah, you actually
it just
100%
shows
right.
like
You're
the
100%
arrogance
right.
of Saudi Arabia, like that they're like, we'll go and buy a football club, we'll say that it's not, and then we'll say that we didn't buy them, and then we'll just go and stick an away shirt on there anyway. So like, yeah, no, it's. But the point, but a lot of people were saying the point about it was that they it doesn't really matter anyway. Like nothing's changed.
I
Like
don't know if
it
nothing
was
matters though,
no,
because
nothing's changed, and the fact that people are getting annoyed about it now is a bit stupid, which I totally
yeah,
agree with.
I don't know if I totally agree with it. I think people are right to get to be
You can be
at least.
annoyed again. You can be annoyed if you're annoyed the last time. You've a right to be annoyed again now. But if you weren't annoyed at the fact that there's a Saudi Arabian government taking over a football team,
Yeah,
and what's the difference of a kit? Um. So yeah.
yeah.
But in fairness, like football wise, they look like they're gonna be doing well.
There's
Um.
a certain um there's a certain something in the fact that irony is the word I'm looking for, in the fact that Bruno Guimaraes is the one that scored the winner, and the fact that Arsenal spent zero great pounds sterling, great British pounds, great pounds sterling. That Arsenal spent zero great British pounds on any signings in January, and Bruno Guimaraes was right there and linked, and they decided against
Yeah.
him, and he ended up ending the
Um.
Champions League hopes.
I mean, all is not lost because it is Tottenham.
But Tottenham are playing Norwich. Come on, Tottenham are getting top four.
I've s- I they
We've
should
seen it all. It can
we've seen it
happen.
before. Like
Yeah.
the other thing, Norwich have nothing, no motivation other and a freedom now, and other than to just spoil the party for Spurs and to make Spurs bottle it, which I think is enough motivation there
Love of
in
story.
itself. Maybe Billy Gilmore being the Chelsea player he is, maybe he might step up for that game. I think Conte is the type of manager that he'd have them get over the line. I think he is that good, but never know with Spurs, and it would be unbelievable if they did bottle it against bottom of the league Norwich. But
I
we'll
would
wait
like
and
it to
see.
happen, to be honest, just for the sake of
I-
Harry and for the sake of
I'd prefer
the
Arsenal to be
the
in the
story.
Champions League. Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
But yeah. And then the bottom of the league we had what did we have? We had Everton just what?
Beat
three,
Everton, aren't they?
three, 3-2 and two red cards. The Ronda one was just ridiculous. It was just like and it was like he walked off the pitch and Lampard just gave him a pat in the back. Like he should like there's some managers just wouldn't have given him any attention, but I think Lampard was just like, yeah, whatever, man. You just go away. Like just
Yeah.
don't ever knock on my door again after that. Like it's just like not helping the situation at all.
Get out of my face.
Then you had
How massive is that
oh,
goal for
sorry,
Pascal
I
Struck?
skipped out on the main story from the weekend. West
Go
Ham
on.
2 versus Man City 2 as well. And that's
Yeah.
obviously left the door open for Liverpool. Should have mentioned that earlier. Poor hosting.
Well,
But
just a lack of experience, Fergal. It's fine.
Lack of experience, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, look, but it showed that like there are weaknesses. There's chinks to the armor with Man City, and they've done well to come back again. There seemed to inevitableness about them, but again, it's just crucial moments, and to have this like whenever the pressure's on, they do crumble a little bit. Um, and Mahrez was testament to that. It is strange. I don't know what it is, but maybe it isn't there at all, and maybe we're just being ultra microscopic with it all and looking into it too much. But it's
And
just
I don't
I
know
don't
if
know what it is.
I'm gonna be ultra microscopic, as you put it, or biased, as you know, a Liverpool fan with a horse in the race. But I do think Man City don't deal very well with adversity,
They
or
definitely don't deal with that as well as Liverpool.
as well
I
as
think that's
Liverpool,
definitely
definitely.
fair to say.
And this is gonna sound ridiculously harsh on Riyad Mahrez. He's one of the best players in the world. I think he has the first touch. He has the best first touch in the world. That's just a bit of something I love
I
about
think
Riyad Mahrez. But
he's
here's
incredible first touch. Yeah.
here's my point on Mahrez. In like he has in a few moments, he's where a goal would be so decisive to swing a game one way or the other. Um, he kind of, I don't want to put it as bottled it, but that's the phrase I guess nowadays. But he did miss like the previous penalty that he missed since the West Ham one, which he would have won the league with, was the penalty when he skided over at Anfield when it was like 0-0, and he would have sent City top or something like that.
Mhm.
They ended up winning the league, but in that moment, he did miss the penalty in the last second. There was a game against us, the 2-2 draw at the Etihad. There was the last chance of the game. He chose to loop it over, and it ended up just sailing way
Yeah.
over the bar. And I think there was a missed chance against Real Madrid. So yeah,
But Jack Grealish had a missed chance, and yeah, it just seems to crop up. Like if it comes down to needing to being 2-1 down against Villa
dream scenario.
on the last day of the season, it doesn't. I don't think there is going to be an Aguero moment.
Well,
Yeah,
you
like
say that, but
I can't see them.
they did come back
Like
from
I
2
can't
nil
see
down
them
against
coming
West
back from
Ham.
that sort of adversity.
They did come back from 2 nil down against West Ham.
They
So
did, but
they're
they
able.
could have won it and had it, as you said, had dead and buried. Literally
Exactly.
just had to put a penalty in, and
Yeah.
they didn't take it. They did well to come back, but even Moyes was saying like how he was lucky that they got a point out of the game, and which
Mm.
shows like they played really well and should have won. The fact they didn't at this stage, it all adds up. Look, they could go and absolutely blitz Villa, and then it's all, you know, these points are pointless. But um, it just seems to crop up every now and again. So back to end of the bottom half then, or the bottom of the table actually. The other big result was Leeds.
Yeah. What a massive goal for Strauch.
And yeah, what was that?
What a massive goal for Strauch.
Oh yeah. Well, I was gonna say what a massive moment for Gelhardt.
Yeah.
The skill. Like I follow obviously a couple of Leeds accounts just 'cause I do have a soft spot for them. My dad supports them,
Hmm.
and just like that goal's been on my timeline. I think twice a day. And look, I'm not complaining. Unbelievable little touch and skill and chip over dunk to just a really amazing bit of ingenuity. I feel like you only get that. You only get that bit of just like ingenuity, off the cuff skill, playing with like because they're not yet like drilled into the ways of how you should play football sort of thing. They're just sort of still playing schoolboy stuff, like schoolyard tricks and stuff. I hope that stays in this game, but you do see that sort of drift out of players' games
Yeah,
after a while.
I kind of agree with you, but I would also say that it is rare for a player of so little experience with pressure to be able to pull that off as calmly as he did. But I
I
suppose,
don't
like,
think, no,
thinking
but I
about that
think
point again, is
I
that
don't think he's dealing
he
with
is used
pressure.
pressure now.
I
Because
don't think
how?
it's dealing with pressure. I think
Oh,
at that age you just don't feel you're not aware of the pressure, so you don't have to deal with it.
interesting.
They're
Interesting
just
take.
he's just playing the game. Obviously he knows it's a big moment,
Yeah,
but I think in that moment he's not. It doesn't dwell on him. I
yeah,
need to put this in the box. It's just get it in the box.
yeah. Just do what
I've
makes
heard a lot of
sense.
ex-pros say that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um. But yeah, it leaves it that Burnley have another. Burnley and Everton both have a game tomorrow. Um. Uh.
Burnley have a game on
To,
Thursday against Villa.
yeah,
At
that's
Villa.
tomorrow, Ali, because the podcast comes out.
Oh well, on Wednesday. Yes, you're right. Yeah,
But yeah, yeah. So Everton, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, Burnley, it's and like that's yeah two big games there. If Burnley win, it's I mean it's not all over, but it's really not all over. There's only 2 points in it then, but they're currently one behind. Leeds on 30. Leeds who are on 35 points. Everton one ahead then on 36. So there's still all to play for. Like none of them are good enough that are on a good enough run that you can say that they're gonna go and just do it. Um, and so I'd like to see it go down to the last day. I'd like to see Everton have a chance of although I do want them to stay up. Just to keep it exciting. It would be good if they took it to the last day with the risk of them going down. But yeah, we'll
yeah.
see what way that goes.
A three-way
Um,
relegation battle the last day would be good.
I would, and then just to finish off on the the UK. No, I was going to say English football, yeah, because we haven't mentioned anywhere else. Finish off in English football. A nice moment was Jake Daniels coming out,
Yeah,
first gay footballer to come out since John Fashanu. Um, and power to him. I don't really have much to say on it because I don't. The hope is in the future it isn't a big thing, and won't trend on Twitter, and it'll just be like cool, grand, like it is already in most
yeah. It's
of
been covered and all.
life at the moment. It's like cool, bro, good for you, on with life. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I'm glad
And hopefully
that's
that we're not too far away from that. But
yeah,
I understand why it's obviously gets the headlines because it needs to be supported. And all I saw is support for it. And yeah, power to him.
yeah. Good man.
Hope he carries on doing well for his club. But yeah, that's that all wrapped up then. And we'll move on now to the European games. Europa League final then. The one of the big games left of the season. And you know what? The Europa League, to me, it's growing in its reputation. I always really enjoy the latter stages of it.
Hmm.
This year especially has been. I feel like this is what the Europa League should be more about. Like not too many English teams in the latter
Not too
stages.
many English teams.
No, but like,
I
no,
saw
but I
that
mean,
you
like,
don't
like,
they don't want English
no,
teams.
no, well, like, not just like, I mean, I say that because it's always like a Chelsea, an Arsenal, a United,
Yeah,
a Liverpool. Like the English teams are always in and around it, and like, I don't think any of the top clubs should take part in these a Europa League. It's for like the likes of West Ham, maybe not English. I know they're English. It's for that level of club that doesn't have a great history in Europe, but get their moment to shine in a competition like Europa League. And the Conference League is even more annoying because it has Leicester and Roma, and that one shouldn't have them clubs in it. Like that the Europa League conference is definitely for the minnows, and it's again, it just hasn't been structured right, because
Gatekeeping, Fergal.
otherwise you wouldn't get
Gatekeeping.
the eyeballs on it and then not get money for it. So that's why. But
Yeah.
two great teams though, Rangers and Eintracht Frankfurt. I'm gutted it's not at the Ibrox Stadium, because we're missing that out on that unbelievable camera angle whenever they celebrate goals at the
Yeah, and then
Ibrox.
it kind of shakes around and
It
you know.
comes right across the. We need that. We need that in every stadium.
Yeah.
Like it's iconic to me. I always, anytime I watch Europa League, I've looked forward to Rangers scoring, which might be a surprise for a lot of you
Yeah.
out there. Consider my accent. But
Yes.
this year they've been really likable team to watch. Played some great stuff. And the scenes in the Ibrox are just unbelievable. And Ali McCoist having a dance as well is always good to see.
Do you know why the
Um,
camera shakes as it does?
so it's on an unsteady thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not exactly unsteady. It's just the stand, because the fans keep bouncing. The stand bounces with it, so the camera keeps going up and down. Like the station where the camera
Alright.
stood is in the same stand. It keeps just bouncing up and down. So it's like it's nothing deliberate.
That's why. Yeah. I thought that was common knowledge that it's bouncing because the people are bouncing.
Oh no, I thought it was something deliberate. I thought it was like
Oh no,
this
you
is
thought
like
it was
director's
deliberate. You
thing.
thought they'd done it on purpose, like an effect.
Yeah, for the longest
You
time.
thought it was all smoke and mirrors, like. Oh no, I knew it was because of the fans.
Interesting.
Yeah, look, Rangers have done incredibly well to knock out Leipzig, who are the favourites, Braga, and then Eintracht Frankfurt knocked out Barcelona and West Ham. It's going to be an interesting final. I think like both teams, both teams are quite high tempo teams, and I'd imagine we'll have the confidence to go at each other.
It can't be ignored as well that in the very first round of knockouts, Rangers knocked out Borussia Dortmund. Like not just knocked out Dortmund,
Completely forgot about that.
annihilated Dortmund on their home soil.
Yeah,
Dortmund gave it a bit of trouble in
unbelievable.
Ibrox, but it was an iconic performance. If you're a Rangers fan, Dortmund. Those set of performances against Dortmund are probably some of the highlights in their history, I think. If you're a
Yeah,
Rangers
and there's
fan,
been some amazing videos of like lifelong Rangers fans getting tickets to this final. I saw some of them, and like I was like, I'd love to be able to do that for my dad if the opportunity ever arose, and it's like for either Ireland or Leeds or something, but it would it really meant the world to those fans, and yeah, I hope they have a good time. But behave,
Behave.
as every Rangers fan, and now everybody that's now taking the mick out of them is saying, make sure you behave. Which
Go, Christian.
maybe shows how worried they are that they won't behave, but I feel it's still it's patronising, and you'd hope they'd just be common sense enough to have a good time without wrecking the shop or fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is funny, like.
But no, it's going to
Yeah,
be a good
that's-
final. These are two teams.
I think it'll be a good one.
It will be because they're two teams that are very attacking. And the fascinating thing is that Gio Bronckhorst had to come in right after Steven Gerrard
Yeah.
came out, and he actually had I remember he had a really critical group stage game, and was immediately able to apply at least his fundamentals. But they're really, really good in the press, because they managed to organize the press in a way that really limits the passing lanes for the opposition, who most of them try to pass it around, like from the goalkeeper on these days, like just play from the back.
Yeah.
But you can't do that against Rangers, so Frankfurt will have to just like lump it along. So we'll see. Frankfurt themselves are very expansive. They make the pitch as big as possible. We saw a lot of examples of that against Barcelona in the Camp Nou game. Remember when like Frankfurt fans outnumbered Barcelona fans? That
Yeah,
was wild.
that was a whole thing. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like, it's probably the two best supporters in the
Yeah, the
competition.
atmosphere is going to be incredible,
But
and
it's
the
going to be electric.
yeah, it's going to be in the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan, the Sevilla stadium, and it's really like it's very vertical. The stands are very vertical, and it's like it's real close
They're going to feel
to
like
the
they're
stadium.
on top of the pitch. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's shaping up. Like, I'm looking forward to that later
yeah,
on this evening if you listen to it on Wednesday.
yeah.
Um, but yeah. Then the Women's Champions League final with Barcelona, who
Oh,
stuffed Chelsea in it last season, if I
yeah.
remember correctly.
4-0.
Versus Lyon, which is the two powerhouses of women's European football. It's on Saturday at the Juventus Stadium. Um,
I
yeah,
was
Ali,
really
what do you think of this one?
I was really excited when both teams made it because they truly are. Because on the one hand, Leon are the record holders, won it
Mhm.
5 times in a row. The last being in 1920, and Barcelona currently
That's
have
not
a
1920, way back. That's 2019, 2020.
yeah. It's not 1919. No,
It's
it's
not
not.
wasn't on the cusp of the First World War.
No, yeah, exactly. 90. Yeah, you're right though. The way I said it, 1920. Anyway, no, 2019, 2020. And Barcelona, on the other hand, are the most dominant team in football. They have you ever heard of a league record, Fergal, like this? 30 total league games. The league is over. 30 games. 30 wins. Goals for 159. Goals against 11.
That's a
And
joke.
the goal difference is 148, 90 points. You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of FIFA 08. I was a little kid. I used to play like manager mode with AC Milan and used to build this extreme super team and buy everybody in the world and would like play on, and if I get a draw I would save and reload so I can get my win and then end the season on a 100% win record, and my goal difference wouldn't even reach that number. 148 goal difference is just insane. That they're playing something else. I don't know what it is, but the interesting point is, and Tifo did an amazing video
Hey,
on
and you
this.
know what? You might people listening to that might think, oh, everybody else must be rubbish.
No,
But
not at
they
all. Real
played
Madrid.
Chelsea in last year's Champions League final,
Hmm.
and Chelsea, who have are the very dominant team in England, have won back to back, or maybe three times in a row now. The three-peat, I think, of Premier League titles for Chelsea. And they got stuffed 4-0 in the final last season. This Barcelona team is just incredible.
They're insane. Because of the expansion to their women's team operations in general, they use the same facilities as the Barcelona first team now. Um, the same processes, the Mel La Masia, and their girls team. There are three different levels of girls team. I think based on that Tifo video I was talking about. It's an amazing video. Please go look it up on YouTube and watch it. Some of the girls team played in boys tournaments and won the league. It's
Brilliant.
insane. Yeah. I don't know what the process must be so perfect to be this successful in the league, and they're gonna open 2 more levels of youth teams apparently as well, and it's just gonna get better and better and better. They've broken obviously the attendance record for a women's game twice. Like they've attracted 95,000 fans in a game once, which is unheard of for women's football. It's just
Yeah, it broke the
absolutely
record, didn't it?
brilliant to see. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, it's just amazing, and I'm sure Barcelona are gonna win it, but I'm also sure the atmosphere is gonna be amazing. Yeah, let's see. Similar thing, Juventus Stadium. It's a small ground, vertical stands. should generate a good atmosphere, and Barcelona have a really strong fan base. Like that game against Wolfsburg, there were fans coming in from Korea. There were fans coming in from here in the States. Um,
Why?
yeah, it's amazing, really.
Yeah, and then go back to the men's football. Serie A is heating up. Um, and we from a Chelsea point of view, seeing Christensen, but that's something we did mention. Christensen not turning up for the final. I don't want to go in on him because I don't really know the full story, and it is very strange that I feel like there must be a better reason than what's being put out there. But I don't really want to go in on him, but it is disappointing. But whatever.
It
I
does.
also thought Chalobah should have been starting anyways,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, going back to Serie A, the point I was going to make was Chelsea are losing a lot of centre backs. Mori's about to win Serie A
We
with
talked about it last week, didn't we?
as a starting centre back. So you know, go another mistake. That one might be down to Lampard. That, but unbelievable. This quite young AC Milan team on the cusp of greatness. Um, but it's still between them and Inter Milan, isn't it?
It would be the first league title for Milan in 11 years. Last year they had a bit of a race for a little while until Inter Milan just broke away. But this year, AC Milan just managed to,
Hmm.
yeah, just keep up the pace. There's 2 points between them. I think Milan win it. I think they'll wrap it up easy. The win against Bologna was critical. 3-1 win, and just a very convincing win as well. So it takes it to the last day, which is great because I do look forward to that now. But it should be Milan's. It would take something incredible not to be that way.
Both teams coming up against teams that are mid-table and not a lot to play for, or Sampdoria's in 16th, but uh, they're safe from relegation. And Sassuolo in 11th, and they can only move up to 9th. So, like not much riding on the other two teams other than spoiling the party for whoever they're up against.
The exciting thing
So
is
yeah,
that
but it's great to see Serie A is just such a good league in recent years. It's so many great players as well.
you know why Juventus fell off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pirlo.
Thank you, Pirlo. Thank you. The exciting thing as well is that Inter actually have the goal difference advantage. So if Milan draw and Inter win the title. So Milan need to win.
Big. That is big.
It's huge.
Well, I hope it's the ex Chelsea lads that do it in Giroud and Tomori. I hope they get over the line.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure they will. Is there anything else?
There is one more thing. The Bundesliga, there's a relegation playoff. So the third from bottom in the Bundesliga play third from top in Bundesliga 2. So third from bottom is Hertha Berlin. Imagine a second division game being played in Olympiastadion. Well, that might well happen because Hertha Berlin are in a relegation playoff, Fergal. And the team playing them is Hamburg, who are a huge team with massive Bundesliga pedigree. They'll be helping to get back.
They famously didn't go down for the only team or one of the only teams not to go down. The clock ticking for how many years they were in the top division, and then they did go down. And I'm guessing this is them coming back up then.
Yeah.
From that, one big team, and then I remember watching the Derby days on Hertha Berlin. It's just a weird team. Like they don't necessarily have a huge following, size of the team, and and the size of the stadium. From what I know, I could
Yeah,
well be wrong,
they
but it
no, they
just could
barely
be.
fill the stadium. They barely ever do. Um, yeah, too big of a stadium for them.
Yeah. So Hertha Berlin just seems like a weird, totally weird stadium. Also remember that derby days. There's obviously Union Berlin is their derby, and there's a lot of talk that they didn't want a split. There's a lot of people that said we don't really want a split in the city like there used to be, and like we don't really like the fact that there is a derby or like a rivalry. This is
Hmm.
sort of an interesting sort of take on it all. I remember that being mentioned. Not every fan had that opinion, but it was something. Derby Day is a great series with on Cop 90. One of the few things they do well.
Oh yeah,
Um, but yeah, is that European wrapped up then?
that's Europe wrapped up. I just wanted to give a bit of. I wanted to grieve a bit about my continent, Fergal. Um,
Yes.
the African football being at it again. There's a Champions League final that's supposed to happen on the 29th. It's between Al Ali yet again for the, I don't know, 89th time or whatever, and against a team called Wydad Casablanca.
Humble brag.
Humble brag. I mean, it's just normal operation at this point for us to reach the Champions League final. But Wydad Casablanca, and the game is supposed to take in Casablanca, and that's normal. Like there's been European Champions League finals held in on like home soil for one team, Bayern Munich against Chelsea in the Allianz Arena, and the like. There last year in the African Champions League final, Al Ahly played a South African team, and it was held in Cairo. So, but the problem now is that there's a lot of controversy about the host because it's held in Casablanca. Because Al Ahly and Egyptian media don't think it's fair, and there was a like Mohamed Outrika, one of the Al Ahly like legends, came out and put out a statement on Twitter, well, a tweet, saying that Al Ahly should actually pull out from the final because of unfairness, because the final is being hosted in Casablanca. So let me get this straight. You want to pull out of the Champions League final because the final is being hosted on home soil for the other team, while last year the final was hosted on home soil for your team. Nice one, pal. Great thinking.
Yeah, it is mental that it's mental that it's like was it scheduled is it like the Champions League when it gets scheduled from the start of the competition where the final is going to be?
They decide too late on how when
Yeah,
they're,
I understand why
where
you'd
and
be a
when
bit
they're going to do
annoyed
the final.
about that, but
The other thing is they are now thinking about like doing a home and away leg as well. That's one of the things they're still considering. It's the
like
17th
the
of
Copa
May,
Libertadores.
like the Libertadores. It's the 17th of May. It's what used to happen in CAF. But the problem is the 17th of May. There's 12 days until the final. As we speak, it's the 17th. It's the 18th for the listeners now. Like, come on, like stop being
Sorry, they
children.
haven't even decided what the format's going to be.
No. Well, they're discussing the
bonkers.
possibility of home and away.
Or
Like,
is that due to the fact that it's being played in the home stadium?
there's fears. There's like the media pressure in Egypt and from Al Ahly themselves and like Al Ahly, some of the legends. That's the main thing. The other thing is like some concerns about how the atmosphere is going to be because North Africa can get quite aggressive, and I feel okay saying that because I lived there. So that's like another mini concern. I don't know. I just think like just get on with your life. Just wait there.
Especially the fact it's Al Ali. It's like you, as you say, you're there like your umpteenth Champions League final.
Yeah, it's mental.
Just get on with it. You've done that before. I'm sure they've won loads, have they?
They've won like 8 or 9. Lost count.
Like you've been there, done that. Have act like a big club, and just be like Yeah, fine. We'll stroll up to your backyard and beat you. No problem.
Yeah.
Um, instead of crying about it. But anyway, yeah, that's all the real that's all the football wrapped up, and now it's time for us to talk about the real quiz. Oh boy, the FPL fantasy player picks
Dun
has
dun
heated
dun
up.
dun.
I crunched the numbers. We've been sort of Ali, you counted up all of them, and we weren't really we stopped paying attention to it this much, but somehow, because I started paying attention to it because I thought George was miles ahead, but now I'm invested, baby. I
Tell me.
because I am I picked. We'll go through the picks. So Ali, you picked De Bruyne. You got 2 points.
Of course.
Um, George picked Neto. Got 2 points.
Of course.
Harry picked Wilson, and I actually need to add his in. I don't know what he got, but it doesn't really matter how he's bottom. Um, and he's not here. But what
Never
does
mind
matter
then.
is I got 10 with Vardy. Vardy's still to play tomorrow night. A big game for Chelsea versus Leicester. Actually, nothing's really riding on it. But it's a big game for this. I am. So the table reads as follows: Harry on the bottom, his points yet to be calculated. I'll do that after the show. Ali, you're on 146.
Hmm.
George is on 168, and I'm just 3 points behind him on 165.
You are 3 points behind George.
I'm 3 points behind George.
Oh my god. When did that? Okay. I guess we haven't been paying attention for like 5 weeks, but wow. Oh, I mean, fair play. I don't know what to say.
I don't know how this happened. It might have something to do with George forgetting about it 3 weeks on the trot. He got complacent. It makes it even more annoying that he was ever so far in the lead. The fact that he's consistently forgotten. And in fairness, I have a feeling that between me and George, we may have forgotten it the most.
Yeah, and you two are the leaders.
Us two are top. Which I is we need to do a points per actual pick as
Points
well.
per pick. This is
Just to see.
legislative.
I think you and Harry are gonna do quite poorly on that one.
You bet.
But yeah, that's how the table looks. I've still got one more game in this game week, the last game week or the penultimate game week 37, and then I have and then it's down to the last one. And yeah, we'll see. It's going to be tight. I'm actually going to be really invested in that. Now it's down to 3 points. I'm hoping George doesn't realize and just picks like I know someone random like Gibson for Norwich or something like that, just as a laugh, and then I can just sneak in and pick someone. But because it's 3 points, I do need someone to get something substantial. I do need a goal, an assist, a clean sheet. So I'm gonna have to go crunch some numbers. And the last game week is just mental usually. Like there's usually weird fixtures. People don't care. People do care. It's either it's all or nothing on the last day. You're either playing for nothing or you're playing for everything. And that brings out interesting performances. So yeah, good luck to anybody with if you're on for if you're in your own proper FPL leagues, if you're close to getting top spot, which is all the best of luck in this crazy last game week. I forgot to use all of my boosts. I forgot to use my bench boost and my triple captain.
Wow.
I've forgotten to use the two of them, but you can only use one on the last game week.
That's
So
a conundrum.
I've gone through a whole season of FPL. I think it's twice in a row I've done it now.
Wow.
Anyway, that's all the FPL chat. Please tweet me your suggestions for who I should pick. Any wisdom is welcome. And Ali, I mean, look, unless a madness happens, enjoy third place. It was It was
Yeah, well,
it was
Europa
it's been a
League's
good
on.
competition.
It's been a good one. Although I am disappointed. I was top for a while, wasn't I? But it turned out it was because of one wonder pick, that Salah at Man United. That was the one that got me
Well,
top for a while.
just
So
remind people that was a triple captain of Salah, 84 points in 1 week.
that's George. That's what got George top.
That's George.
So Salah got me top for a while, then got George top until now. So yeah, we'll see. Anyway, at least I'm not
All right,
last.
we'll leave it there. Thanks for listening. Enjoy all the great football. Ali, you're going to say something?
One last thing of the Tricky Trees, I really want a new face in the Premier League. They won today. Let's hope they win in the final.
You want a new face and an old face in some ways. Brennan Johnson, what a player! Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. We'll speak to you next week with a preview of the Champions League final, a review of all those finals and big games we talked about. And by this stage, we'll know by this time next week, we'll know who's won the Premier League, been relegated, and who's got top four. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
See you then. Bye.